Father Dean Wilhelm is the extraordinarily gifted pastor of St. William Church in Round Rock, Texas, in the great Diocese of Austin. Father Dean, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me, Bishop Reed.
You know, I was just saying before we came on that this is probably the closest we've been in about 20 years. My fault.
This is true.
My fault.
Yes, because you refused to visit me in Texas.
Well, that's another story we'll take up on another show, but originally we had planned to do this interview in studio because Father Dean was here, going to be here for a wedding in Rhode Island, but the pandemic changed all of that. So we're glad that you've had the time, made the time in your busy schedule to be with us. How are you surviving all this at St. William's?
Well, we have an excellent staff. It's a huge parish of 7,200 families. I have about 40 full-time employees. A COO, a chief of staff, a volunteer coordinator. So our infrastructure is very sophisticated. So fortunately, a lot of our people are reaching out to people, using the technology, live streaming, Zoom meetings, so on and so forth. So we're probably in a better position to keep connected, even though it is a huge parish.
I enjoy watching you celebrate Mass online because it allows me the chance to hear you sing.
Well, thank you very much. I don't do a lot of singing or chanting, but I appreciate that, especially you giving your musical talents.
And you have a beautiful church, and not just that, you have an incredibly functional and beautiful Evangelization Center. I remember when you were planning for that, raising money for it. Can you tell us about that center? Because it really is, besides the church, a real centerpiece for the parish.
Yes, it's it was designed to be used for really evangelization purposes. So there's not a bunch of classrooms in it. There's more meeting rooms. All of our groups from middle school on all meet kind of have a general gathering, and then they break up into small groups, just as all of our adult different groups. So it really is designed that it's very welcoming. The front of it, when you walk in, it looks like the lobby of an upscale hotel. And so it really is inviting for people to come in. And then, like I said, there's a lot of seating areas for people to visit and to congregate, but not in a traditional classroom format.
Sure. And you have, as you noted, a huge staff, a very talented staff, an extensive faith formation program that teaches and inspires. I want to know how you keep it all together, because you're not getting any younger.
This is true. I just turned 58 a couple weeks ago.
Holy
and
gosh.
Again, the reason being that I have an absolutely fantastic staff. Yeah. And the staff enables me to be able to do the things that I spent, years in the seminary thinking that's what I was going to do. So the lion's share of the administration of the parish is done by that staff, especially my COO, Ana Cristina Gonzalez. Our chief of staff is a permanent deacon, full-time employee, and one of our employees, Tommy Sustaida, is our our coordinator for volunteers. So it's a very well-oiled machine.
And you have a very, very well-oiled and gifted pastor, as I said in the very beginning. I have a greatest respect for you, and that's why we wanted to bring you on to the show today, just as an example of how parishes are continuing to function, even amidst these challenging circumstances. And you mentioned it briefly, but how do you feel you're doing in reaching out and connecting people during these challenging times?
Well, I'm making a lot of more phone calls than I normally do, and the regular things that communication via email, texting, so on and so forth, which is truly, in this day and age, a lot of our communication is that way anyway. We don't make as many phone calls. It's easier contact, but for instance, I'm trying to reach out to people that I think about randomly, and I'll pick up the phone and call them, especially our elderly people that I know that are homebound or shut in, and they don't have a lot of that contact that a lot of other people do. In terms of the live streaming of the masses, in one sense, it's a blessing. I have some pretty serious ADD, so when I'm giving my homily, it's actually much easier because I don't have the distractions. But what really gets me and chokes me up every weekend is, excuse me, is the Eucharistic prayer where we pray graciously, bless this family that you have summoned here before you. And I'm looking at a church that seats 1,700 people, and I have 8 people between the choir, the servers, the lectors, the deacon, and the cameraman. So it's that part is the real sadness for me. It's being a shepherd in a virtual parish with just virtual parishioners is very difficult for me.
Well, you're doing a great job, obviously, and you're a great example to all of us who struggle to do exactly what you're doing, to remain connected with people and to connect people with Christ. And I got to ask you, too, how is our dear friend Bishop Joe Vasquez?
He's doing very well. He's, trying to, survive this as well. I haven't spoken with him, but I've spoken with his Vicar General, our Vicar General, Father James Misko. He's checking in on us quite frequently. He's been very good about, in fact, I received another phone call from him this morning just to see how things were going. So I think all in all, we're doing well. Texas has a stronger economy than most places, so it's a bit of a different situation. My real concern is that we have a very large Hispanic population, a lot of them kind of the working poor. Many of them have lost their jobs in hotels and restaurants and things like that. So that's a very heavy burden for me to be thinking about that, and also trying to be creative in how we can reach out. We have a very active St. Vincent de Paul Society with a food pantry. We also have a free clinic on our property that helps people with people without insurance, so on and so forth.
Father Dean Wilhelm, I'm telling you, a pastor who really cares, a fantastic guy. Thank you so much, Dean, for joining us. And where can people learn more about St. William's Parish and see some of the great work and great life there at St. William's?
Well, they can look at our website. We also have one of our parishioners from one of the original families of the parish, the Castillo family, or the Carlin family. She actually wrote a little book here, a story of faith and family. Just giving the history of that. It's self-published, but certainly our website, and anybody that would ever want to call and find out what we're doing to really help make this just an incredibly amazing parish, they're more than welcome to contact me.
st-william.org is the website. Father Dean, great to see you. Keep up the fantastic work. I have to come to Texas one of these days.
I'm still waiting after 33 years.
Well, thank you for this conversation, and God bless you in all of your work.